The link's right there. You want to join? Link's right there on the screen. You can join. Oh, look. Hello, sir. You're in the chat. What you in the chat? Don't you want to join the stream? Giovanni Vella. Sounds Italian. Are you going to join the stream? Here, I'll put my first claim up. Here's my first claim. I have been, I am, and I will be wrong, mistaken, incorrect about something, anything. Do you agree with that claim? I'm just going to call you Vella. Again, here's the link. I got a whole bunch of positive claims here. Link's right there on the screen. Just join in. Claim number 1. I have been, I am, and I will be wrong, mistaken, incorrect about something, anything. Do you agree? The link leads to this StreamYard link. It leads to this stream. Then I can put you up on the screen. You can show your face, or you don't have to show your face. Again, I'll put the link right here. Just put that in any search engine. You'll come up on the stage. You can show your face, or you don't have to. And then we'll have a conversation. I've got a whole bunch of positive claims. Looks like Vella has understood. The second person watching, link's right here. It's at the top of the chat. There's the StreamYard link. Just type that in the search engine. You'll come up on the stage. I'll let you in, and we can have a conversation. Why can't you directly talk to me through the link? Just type the link in. You don't have to show your face. You can just show your avatar. And nobody's going to recognize your voice. Well, I guess you can't back up all your bravado on written messages. That's a shame. That's a shame. Anonymity. Such bravado with anonymity. No apologies to me. Hey, I have the self-respect to show up on a stream. I got positive claims. No problems here. You can do it in the chat. Do you agree with claim number one? Claim number one, I have been, I am, and I will be wrong, mistaken, incorrect about something, anything. Do you agree with that? Giovanni Vella, do you agree with my claim? Yes or no? You do agree with that. Awesome. So we don't have to debate it. Awesome. You agree with that. So here, claim number two. I only know if I was or if I am wrong, mistaken, incorrect about something, anything in the context of a now moment with now information and now knowledge. Do you agree with that? Claim number two. And put I agree with claim number two or claim number one. I think it'll make it easier. Second person watching, you are more than welcome to join the stream. So Giovanni, do you agree with my claim number two? I only know if I was or if I am wrong, mistaken, incorrect about something, anything in the context of a now moment with now information and now knowledge. Do you agree with claim number two? Giovanni, it shouldn't take you this long to answer this simple question. Yeah? Could you write claim number two, I agree with? I guess I'll have to accept the yes since you don't seem to be able to type more than that. So claim number three, genes in an environment in the context of a now moment determine what and how I remember. Do you agree with that claim? Giovanni Vella, do you agree with claim number three, that genes in an environment in the context of a now moment, sort of, okay? So can you explain why it's a sort of? I'm hoping you know what genes are. I'm hoping you know what the environment is. The context of a now moment would be this moment right now. Right now. Science and religion. Claim number, Giovanni, focus, okay? Where in claim number three did I mention religion? Your emotional attachment to your favorite storybook and stories causes your intellectual dishonesty, which you are exhibiting right now. Did I mention religion anywhere in claim number three, Giovanni? I'm making positive claims, and you're distracting and obfuscating. Again, claim number three, genes in an environment in the context of a now moment determine what and how I remember right now with what. Okay, no problem. I appreciate your acknowledging that. So now, claim number three, genes in an environment in the context of a now moment determine what and how I remember. Do you agree or do you disagree? So as I sit here, whatever I have eaten today, whatever my chemical, my pH, not PhD, my pH level is, my adrenaline level, my stress hormones, that controls in this environment, the safe environment. You can see behind me, there's nobody attacking me, right? So in this safe environment, it's going to affect what and how I remember. So I'm remembering our interactions on the videos I've made, right? That all those chemicals and my brain structure affect how I remember that in this moment right now. Do you agree with that, Giovanni? There's a second pair of eyes on this video, on this stream. Here's the stream. Type it in the search engine, and you can come up on stage. You don't have to show your face. We could just do a voice. Okay, you agree with number three. Excellent. See, I'm making all these positive claims, and you're agreeing with me, right? Okay, so claim number four. I am rational to apply this to every fellow human being alive right now. Giovanni, do you agree? Considering that it's scientifically accurate, are you retracting this? Okay, I agree with number three. I've made a claim, and now what does this mean? Considering that it's scientifically accurate, this would be so much easier if you would just show up on stage. Giovanni Vella. And the second person watching this stream, it would be so much easier if you just, change my glasses so it doesn't reflect. I'm assuming you agree with claim number 3, so we'll go to claim number 4. I am rational. Me, Scott Stell, am rational to apply this, claims 1, 2, and 3, to every fellow human being alive right now. Am I rational, Giovanni? Am I rational to apply claims 1, 2, and 3? Yup. Excellent, Giovanni. I agree. Look at that. It's so simple. It's so simple. Here, claim number 5. I am rational to apply this to every fellow human being ever born. Ever born. Am I rational, Giovanni Vella? Am I rational to apply claims 1, 2, and 3, and 4 to every fellow human being ever born? Am I rational? Yes. Excellent. I agree. Look at that, man. It's so easy. I'm making all these positive claims. It's so easy. Claim number 6. I got to get it. I didn't put it on before. Let me get it. Let me get claim number 6. And here comes claim number 6. Where'd claim number 6 go? There's claim number 6. I am rational to apply this to Moses, Paul, and Muhammad, all claimed by ancient books to be fellow human beings. Am I rational, Giovanni Vella? Am I rational to apply this, my 5 previous claims, to Moses, Paul, and Muhammad, all claimed by ancient books to be fellow human beings? Perhaps. Why is it a perhaps? They were fellow human beings, correct? You agreed with me up to claim number 5, but now all of a sudden, you finally see what happened. Now, this is where your emotional attachment to your favorite storybook comes into play. That is correct, Giovanni Vella. Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that greatly. Since this applies to every person, it would be applied to them. That is correct, Giovanni. And now we're going to go over what my claims were real quick. Claim number 1, I have been, I am, and I will be wrong, mistaken, and incorrect about something, anything. Claim number 2, I only know if I was or if I am wrong, mistaken, or incorrect about something, anything, in the context of a now moment with now information and now knowledge, right? Because now is the context. We know so much. Claim number 3, genes and environment in the context of this now moment determine what and how I remember. Claim number 4, I am rational to apply this to every fellow human being alive now. Claim number 5, I am rational to apply this to every fellow human being ever born. You still agree with me, Giovanni. Claim number 6, I am rational to apply this to Moses, Paul, Muhammad, all claimed by ancient books to be fellow human beings. Right? Now you can feel right there was where your emotional attachment to your favorite storybook and your intellectual dishonesty came into effect. And now another claim. See what happens here. Hopefully it's big enough. Not too big for, 1 second. Why won't it pick up that claim? And now here's my conclusion. My conclusion is I am rational and reasonable in concluding Moses, Paul, Muhammad were mistaken when their ancient books claim Moses spoke with Jews, the Jewish God, claims Paul saw a resurrected Jesus, and a Quran claims Muhammad saw and spoke with an angel. I'm rational and reasonable. And you agree with me, Giovanni Vella. You agree with me. Because I am rational and reasonable. with my claims that I don't need to provide evidence for because you understand them, because they're obvious, because you know they're correct. Thoughts, Giovanni Vella? Any thoughts? I'm curious. Now, here's what this all leads to, Giovanni. No thoughts. No thoughts? Or you don't agree? No thoughts or you don't agree. But here's what this all leads to, Giovanni. Okay? This all leads to the reduction of the unnecessary self-inflicted mental suffering in my fellow human beings. Right? So I'm curious what your inner voice self story is. That's what this all leads to. All the videos I make, they're all about this one crucial thing. Let's see if I go in the center. This one crucial thing. What is your inner voice self story? Do you know what an inner voice self story is, Giovanni Vella? I'll tell you. Okay? It's a story you tell yourself about yourself. Whose voice tells that story and in what manner that story is told to you? Do you know what your inner voice self story is, Giovanni Vella? I just did. I just elaborated. The story you tell yourself about yourself. Whose voice tells that story and in what manner that story is told to you? So I'll elaborate even more. Here's my inner voice self story. I respect myself. I enjoy being me. I am complete. I'm at peace with myself, life, and the universe. I like the guy I see in the mirror. I am the change I wish to see in the world. The voice is my own strong, authentic, genuine, honest, mature, responsible voice. And the manner in which the story is told, it's told by my best friend, me. So it's not how I think of myself. It's a story I tell about myself. I think those are two different things. Because, so I'll ask you this question. Whose voice do you hear in your head? Is it your voice or is it your mother's? Or is it the bully at school? Or is it the guy at work? Whose voice do you hear in your head, Giovanni? This would be so much easier if you just joined the stream. It really would. Whose voice do you hear in your head, Giovanni? It's your voice. Excellent. Hat off to you. Hat. Okay, excellent. Do you cry over spilled milk, Giovanni? Do you cry over spilled milk, Giovanni? Do you have regrets, Giovanni? Drop my shoulders. No reason they're up around my ears. This would be so much easier if you just joined the stream, but your choice. Okay, so you're crying over spilled milk. Okay, why? The milk was spilled. The voice that you hear in your head, is it negative or positive? Second set of eyes that just showed up at the stream. There's the link. Please join, or join if you choose. So Giovanni, the voice you hear in your head, is it positive or negative? Is it a friend or is it a foe? It's negative. Okay. So why are you speaking to yourself in a negative voice? You're beating yourself up. Why? because I don't think it's your voice. And I don't think it's your story. I think it's other people's voices. I think it's other people's stories. Second set of eyes, it just showed up. Link's right there on the screen. Look. Right there. Look. I always think less of myself because of what I do. So you're judging yourself. In reality, you're over-judging yourself, because both you and I are judging this moment right now, right? I'm judging that this structure is sound. I'm judging that it's safe to be on this on YouTube, providing all this information, right? But you're over-judging. You're comparing what you do with others. You're comparing what it says in a Bible or a Quran, somebody else telling you what's right and wrong. So it's not your voice you hear in your head. It's whoever your preacher or your imam is. See, that's why everything I do is about one thing, Giovanni, and that's this. What's your inner voice self-story? Because you're not, that voice in your head, I don't think it's yours. I think it's your imams or your preachers or your parents or the bully. So you cried over spilled milk. The voice in your head is negative, right? So most of your suffering is self-inflicted, unnecessary suffering. Why? Because somebody tells you you should be X, Y, or Z. Somebody tells you that, oh, you're not allowed to do this because it's wrong. And who says it's wrong? That person says it's wrong. And you're taking a hook, line, and sinker. Now, I don't have a clue how old you are. You could be 12. You could be 13. Don't know. But I'm pretty sure I'm speaking to you with respect, because I respect myself, so I can speak to you with respect. Second set of eyes. I don't see why you're not coming, joining. We can have a conversation right there. There's the link. You still with me, Giovanni, or are you thinking, or? Again, an inner voice self-story is the most important story in the universe. I don't know if you know who Stephen Boss is. I don't know if you know who Jason David Frank is. I don't know if you know who Alec Mooser is. These three individuals took their own lives. They're all famous. Jason David Frank was a Power Ranger. Yup, you're still here, or yup, you're following with what I'm saying now. These three individuals, a Power Ranger, a dancer on the Ellen DeGeneres show known as Twitch, and Alec Mooser was a soap opera actor. He looked like an Adonis, man. Excellent. You're listening. Okay. These three individuals took their own lives. I'm curious what their inner voice self-stories were, because I could tell them. They had fame, they had fortune, they had the respect of their fans, the love, the adulation, money, looks, talent, but yet in their own inner voices, in their own stories, in their own minds, it was so negative and toxic that the only solution was for them to take their own lives. You understand me? So you have a negative voice in your head. You have a negative story going because you always think less of yourself because of what you do. And I'm pretty sure what you're doing, there ain't nothing wrong with it. But somebody told you, your imam, your priest, your pastor, your nun, whatever, it's telling you what you should do, who you are. Okay? And that's your choice. You let those people in your head. You accept their story. So every single video, whether it's a religious video or it's a Project Non-Suffering video, they're all about one thing. It's about one thing. And that's the inner voice self-story. And Stephen Boss and Alec Mooser and Jason David Frank, they all prove to me that the inner voice self-story is the most important story for a human being in the universe. second set of eyes. Please join in. If you want me to add the link again, I can add the link again. So it does not matter if there was a Jesus or if there wasn't a Jesus. It does not matter if there was a God or if there is a God. It does not matter if there is an Allah or if there's not an Allah. The only thing that matters is the story you have running on your wetware, on your neck top. Stephen Boss, Jason David Frank, Alec Moser, Amy Winehouse, Marilyn Monroe. I could do this all day long. Why is the voice in your head negative? Why do you always think less of yourself? Because of what you do. It's because somebody told you. So let's talk about appreciation versus gratitude. Okay? Children do not have a prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is decided by genes and the environment at birth. It does not come online until age 12. A child is a puppet, mimicking, mirroring their parents until age 12. Their society, those people around them, their culture, their friends' parents. At age 12, the prefrontal cortex comes online. So children need to be told to be grateful. Go say thank you to grandmom for that sweater she knitted you for Christmas, right? Because children cannot, they are not able to appreciate anything because they do not have understanding, because they do not have a prefrontal cortex. At age 12, the prefrontal cortex comes online. Evolution has designed this system this way so that the first 12 years is all the first 12 years is all mimicking, and the prefrontal cortex is not affected by genes, is not affected by environment as much. It is totally experiential. At age 12 to age 26, and now they're saying it might be age 30 when the prefrontal cortex is mature and fully functional. In those years, that's when children start figuring out, wow, I'm doing this, that, or the other. Okay. But unfortunately, religions get a hold of these children before age 12 and feed them full of crap and rubbish. Oh, you shouldn't masturbate. Women are crap. There was a God. Jesus is this, that, or the other. Allah was this, that, or the other. Muhammad is this, that, or the other. And don't back it up, because children can't critically think and say, you know something, right? And so they etch it into their brains. You know, like a chalkboard, right? You write on chalk, you can erase it, right? But if you write it enough time, there's so much chalk it gets embedded in the chalkboard. And they kind of use a knife and they kind of scratch it in there. And those scratches are so hard to get rid of. It does not matter. The only thing that matters is the story you tell yourself about yourself. Whose voice tells that story and in what manner that story is told to you. My inner voice self story is I respect myself. I enjoy being me. I am complete. And anyone who tells me that I'm not complete does not have my best interest in mind. Is not in it for me. Does not respect themselves. The voice is my own strong voice. Genuine, authentic voice. And the manner at which it is told, that story, is by my best friend. With compassion, awareness, appreciation, curiosity, patience, generosity of spirit, caring, understandable. Do you mean you understand? Or I'm making sense? I'm not Satan. I'm not a devil. Right? All those comments you put on those videos, we've been interacting. Okay, now we're face to face. Who's showing up? This guy. Who's backing up his words? This guy. I can do this all day long. Claims 1 through 5, you were with me. And then at claim 6, your emotional attachment to your favorite story and storybook caused your intellectual dishonesty, and you balked. But you know I'm reasonable and rational to say that Moses, Paul, and Muhammad were mistaken in their claims. Because we have the knowledge of now, in this now moment, in the context of this now moment. Any questions? Oh. Nice meeting you, Giovanni. Have a good one. You back, Giovanni? Is that you? Got another message. I'm going to put the link out there. See if this guy wants to join, or this person. I don't know if they're a guy. You back, Giovanni? Yeah-huh. I don't know what yaha means. So, am I the scumbag atheist you thought I was, Giovanni? Am I the monster you had built in your head? Or am I just a fellow human being who has a pretty decent inner voice self-story? Nope, I respect your opinion. I appreciate that. I appreciate that change, Giovanni. And I would also appreciate if you kind of realize that, playing, big and bold and all the bravado when you're hidden behind your Facebook, not Facebook, or your YouTube avatar. It's fake. Very rarely are people able to back up their crap when they actually show up face to face. I humanize the situation. I put it, even though I make those videos and that's my face. It's not an avatar. I show up every single time. And people say, "Are you an AI?" And I'm like, "Are you serious?" You can see I don't edit it. You can see I read off of a script so I can be concise and precise and succinct. I invited 4 or 5 people today. You at least showed up. So I appreciate that, and I acknowledge that. I got a second pair of eyes on this video. You going to show up? Second pair of eyes? Or are you going to lurk? Oh, a third pair of eyes. Well, better put the link up. I doubt highly anyone's going to show up, but I can offer. Oh, one disappeared. But people hide behind their big bravado and, their big words when they type in comments. But when you invite them to show up on the live, they don't show up. So I got 3 eyes. Giovanni, he's chosen not to show up. What about the other 2? There's the link right there. Oh, somebody disappeared. I don't know if you realize, but on all my videos, what do I say all the time? Fellow human beings. Fellow human beings. Because I understand tribalism. I understand evolution. We are all just human beings experiencing the human condition. the common components all humans share: brains, hormones, emotions, which are just stories, cultural stories. My cultural story of love is not the same as your cultural story of love, Giovanni. I'm going to assume you're Italian. See, number 2 just left. Nobody shows up because they'd rather be big and bad and anonymous. Oh, number 2's back, maybe a new person. There's the stream. There's the link. Let's see if I can figure out. Right there. Boom. Just type that into a search engine. Show up on stage. I get a whole bunch of claims. I can make claims all day long. The problem with my claims are you're going to agree with them. 90% of my claims you're going to agree with. But these people, they would rather have the monster they've constructed in their heads than the actual fellow human being that is on the screen. Come on, second set of eyes. Don't be afraid. I don't bite. Whole bunch of positive claims. Whole bunch. Claim number 1. I have been, I am, and I will be wrong, mistaken, incorrect about something, anything. Claim number 2. I only know if I was wrong or if I am wrong, mistaken, incorrect about something, anything in the context of a now moment with now information and now knowledge. Claim number 3. Genes in an environment in the context of a now moment determine what and how I remember. Claim number 4. I am rational to apply this to every fellow human being alive right now. And then they left. So Giovanni, back to your inner voice self story. Well, the person's back. Do you want the link? Yep. I'll provide the link. But I'm going to speak with Giovanni. Giovanni Vella. Your inner voice self story. Why is it negative? Why are you letting people tell you what you should and shouldn't do? I don't use the word should. I could use the word should, and I could be out cutting the lawn. But this is more important. Stopping the unnecessary mental suffering in my fellow human beings is more important than me cutting the lawn, since it's October and I could care less. I don't understand that. You're going to have to explain that because you have nothing better to do. That's why your voice is negative. Are you able to explain that in the chat? I'm going to need some explanation with that, Giovanni. Second set of eyes, are you going to show up? Second set of eyes, are you one of those big bad people commenting on all my videos saying that, this, that, and the other, how wrong I am? Oh, they left. Giovanni, I'm going to need you to explain that comment. Because I'm pretty sure I can find better things for you to do than to talk negative to yourself. You can explain that comment, Giovanni? I'm guessing that's a no. So again, back to the inner voice self story, Giovanni. Why is it negative? Why is that voice negative? Why are you crying over spilled milk? Why do you have regrets? I'm exactly where I'm at. I shouldn't be anywhere else. I couldn't be anywhere else. Everything has led up to this point. From the Big Bang, everything has led up to this point in this conversation with you. And I have nothing better to do than this conversation right now. Giovanni, you are the most important person on the face of the earth, in the universe, to me right now. You're not going to explain your comment, Giovanni? So far, this has been a pretty, this is a monologue. Oh, this putts. Well, this is a new one. Let's see. You're not explaining yourself, Giovanni. I'm not sure you're still there. There's one set of eyes. It might not be you, Giovanni, but until you explain yourself, I'm going to just put the link back up. I got about another 20 minutes. I can do this stream. You got nothing for me, Giovanni? Second set of eyes. There's a StreamYard link. Join in. I got about 20 minutes. We can have a conversation. I make a whole bunch of positive claims. Whole bunch. Just type the link in the search engine. Boom, you'll come up on stage. You don't have to show your face. We can just have a human conversation. I have a whole bunch of claims. Second set of eyes. Claim number 1, I have been, I am, I will be wrong, mistaken, incorrect about something, anything. Claim number 2, I only know if I was wrong or if I am wrong, mistaken or incorrect about something, anything in the context of a now moment, now information, and now knowledge. Claim number 3, genes and an environment in the context of a now moment determine what and how I remember. Claim number 4, I'm rational to apply this to every fellow human being right now alive. Claim number 5, I'm rational to apply this to every fellow human being ever born. A third set of eyes. There's the StreamYard link. Join in. Have a conversation. Just a fellow human being. If you're one of the, 2 people disappeared, man. Not much backbone on these people. All these theists, big and bad on their comments on my videos, but they can't show up to a stream and back their words up with showing up and my positive claims. I don't know. Am I right? It's my opinion. I might be wrong. I'm very open to the possibility that I'm wrong. But if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, 3 eyes on there. Is one of those 3 eyes going to show up? I'll put the link back up. Come on. Your 15 minutes of fame. 15 minutes of fame. Have a conversation with a fellow human being, not the monster that you have built up in your heads from watching the videos I create. Your big bad bravado behind your comments, but you can't show up on a stream. At least Giovanni showed up. Well, look at that. Who's this? Hello. Hello, mate. You from Australia? Hello. Or did you just forget to type the H? You want the link? Here you go. Here's the link. Just put it in the search engine. You can show up. Oh, somebody left. Just put it in the search engine. You can show up. We'll have a conversation. Just another fellow human being. One day I'm going to have to figure out this lighting. Or buy a new computer that has quicker camera. Lian Chin Tang. How are you, Leon? Sin Tang? Now my glasses are all crooked. I guess you don't want to go I guess you don't want to have a conversation. Bum, bum, bum. So here's one of the big bad bravado people that I was talking about. Let's see. We'll put this. I asked them to join a stream. And this is how they responded to my invitation. I would love to if you had intelligence, but you're ignorant. So no thanks. I'm done with your topics because of this newfound knowledge. At first, I took you for a smart person. It's amazing what anonymity does to people. They think they're so big and bold and so brave, hidden behind a computer. But when it comes down to it, this is what this guy is. I'm pretty sure it's a guy. Let me check out there. Drew Boss. Yeah, Drew Boss, big and bad. But if he had any self-respect, he would have shown up, had a conversation with a fellow human being. But instead, I'm just ignorant. So no thanks. I'm done with your topics. Yeah. Not a loss to me, that's for sure. And so I will reply back. Too bad you could not muster the self-respect to join the stream. So nobody has any topics. So I don't know. Is this? There's two sets of eyes. Is Leon Sintang? Do you know what your inner voice sub story is, Leon Sintang? Your inner voice self story. Do you know what it is? The story you tell yourself about yourself. Whose voice tells that story, and in what manner the story is told to you? Are you able and willing to share that? Lian Sintang. I guess they're not able or willing to share what their inner voice self story is. Well, Giovanni Vella, I hope that you are able to work on your inner voice self story. That the examples of Stephen Boss, Jason David Frank, and Alec Muser, three fellow human beings who took their lives, even though they seem to have everything. See, everyone looks at somebody like Oprah Winfrey or Jason David Frank or Alec Muser or Stephen Boss and think, wow, I'd love to have that life because, look, they have money and everything. They don't have any problems. But yet these three fellow individuals, Amy Winehouse, 4, Marilyn Monroe, 5, took their own lives, even though they had everything in everybody else's mind. Surprised their families. All their families were surprised. Why did they not know that these people were suffering? Did they never ask questions? So the two people watching, if you finally figure out what your inner voice self story is, and have it become a source of strength, start asking the individuals in your life, your parents, your friends, your loved ones, what their inner voice self stories are. Because I think you would be shocked if they actually told you what their inner voice self stories is. Is this still you, Giovanni? Is this you the one set of eyes that's still left? I gotta figure out this light situation. Oh. Do you have any questions, Giovanni? Vela. See if I put my hand there. I don't know. Any questions, Giovanni? No, in fact, I might have to leave early, unfortunately. No problem. I'm going to stay on until 6 o'clock my time, and then I'll walk. Pup Pup. Pup Pup is the avatar. This is Pup Pup. That's Pup Pup right there, the dog. Walk her for about a half hour, an hour. Then get ready for bed. Shut down early. There's no reason to have a negative story, Giovanni. There's no reason to, what was the term you put? No, not that one. I always think less of myself because of what I do. There's no reason for that. The negative crap that your imam or your priest or your rabbi, that was the third one, rabbi, whatever crap, you're probably, I'm guessing you're Italian with the name. You're probably Roman Catholic. So the Pope, rubbish. Whatever that crap, the pedophiles in the Catholic Church, I mean, disgusting. And they're telling you what you shouldn't do. There's no reason for you to have that negative story, that negative voice. There's no reason for you to have regrets. You're probably under 16, probably on 15, 16. Seems like that. Who hangs that? Oh, and there he goes. Cool. No problem. I'm glad to have a conversation with you, even though I didn't talk much. No problem, Giovanni. Nice meeting you, sir. And we will go back to, here's the link. And I'll just do some housekeeping while I'm here. Well, hey.
Hi.
Howdy, sir.
Hello.
How are you today?
Amazing.
Excellent. Excellent answer. How'd you fall upon this stream? How did you fall upon this stream?
I clicked on the link.
Okay.
It felt like it.
Okay. You have anything in mind? I got a lot in mind.
No, because yeah. There is no. I already said it. There's no. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is no evidence.
No evidence for.
For God.
I agree. Sounds like you're an
Yeah.
atheist.
No, I'm not an atheist. I believe in God. I really do.
Okay,
But
but there's no evidence. So you're
Yeah.
so you're irrational. So you choose to be irrational.
I think there'd be multiple different words you could say to describe
Okay, but
that. Because some people wouldn't say irrational. Some people would say
but
Uh,
you're not rational. You're not reasonable.
I am because
No,
I actually
you just agree.
Okay.
You just said there's no evidence.
see. This is why, like, it's so funny to me. It's like talking to a wall.
No, it's not because I'm not a wall. I'm a fellow human being. So do words have
It's a
meanings?
metaphor.
No.
That was a metaphor.
Do
And
words
you-
do words have meanings?
No, words don't have meanings. That's not what they're for.
Is that okay? Are you so? Would you like to respond honestly, or so? If words have meanings, okay, and obviously they do because we're communicating, we understand each other.
Sure.
Okay, then if you say there's no evidence for God, but I believe anyway, then you cannot use the word rational or reasonable. So here we're gonna play a game. Can you see the what's on the screen?
I don't want to play a game.
Okay. I was going to make a positive claim. Being an atheist, I was going to make a positive claim.
Well, I don't care about your claims because you don't care about mine, and you won't hear me out, and it's like that's why I'm saying it's like talking to a wall.
Yeah,
There's
but
no conversation. It's a one-way conversation.
No, because you said you didn't have any evidence, and I agree with you. And so I said, then you're an atheist, and you said, no, I'm a theist.
Okay, but that's what's the meaning of evidence, right? I don't have evidence.
I know you don't.
But I have reason to believe in God.
Why?
I have reason to believe in God.
Then, but you don't have evidence. So your reasons, yeah, but your reasons, okay, are not anything that are going to affect me, right? If you have a reason,
probably.
Okay, then it's personal. It's subjective. It's inside. It's inside your head. Evidence is not inside your head.
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay, then words have meanings, and you agree. Okay, so if I say I believe in the tooth fairy, am I rational or reasonable?
I can't claim either. I wouldn't describe it.
I said
either of those.
I said if Scott Stell, if I believe in the tooth fairy, am I rational or reasonable?
Okay, so my friend believes in aliens.
I've asked.
My friend believes in Bigfoot. I've asked several questions, and you've ignored mine. So I don't. Why are you asking for my respect when you don't give me respect?
I have asked.
Respect me.
I have asked a question. Please respond to my question.
Because you don't respect me, so why would I respect you? There is no conversation. I'm talking to a wall. It's a one-way conversation.
No, you're talking to a fellow human being. Okay?
No, I'm not. You just muted me. Imagine muting someone in an actual conversation in real.
So I've asked a question. It's a simple question. You don't want to. You know, I've made a claim. The claim's right there on the screen. You could just. You didn't want to play the game with this claim. Okay.
It's reasonable. There you go. There's my answer.
Thank you.
You're reasonable.
Excellent. Awesome. Claim number 2. I only know.
I said you're reasonable for believing in the tooth fairy. It has nothing to do with the first claim. I didn't read the first claim.
Okay.
I don't even know.
My bad. Okay. So I'm not reasonable. I'm not reasonable.
You are reasonable.
No. You're saying I'm reasonable to believe in the tooth fairy?
Yes.
Okay. Does that mean I'm reasonable to believe in Santa Claus as well?
Yes.
Okay. So words don't have meanings because that's not what reasonable and rational means.
No, you just don't understand them.
I don't understand Santa Claus. Are you serious?
You don't understand what reasonable means.
Really? Okay, then please expound. Please elucidate.
I was trying to before you started muting me.
Please elucidate what reasonable means. If I can
my friend.
No, I don't care about your friend. It's you and me speaking. Why do you have to bring a third party in?
I'm trying to explain it to you, and you won't let me.
You don't need. You need to bring a third party in to explain what rational and reasonable means?
Yes. Like, would you just let me tell you what I'm thinking, and then would you try and think about it? But you don't even think about it. You're just ignorant. You're just like, no. Like what? How are you going to get anywhere with that logic?
You don't need to bring in a third person. Explain to me. Explain.
Why is that a problem?
Explain what
you won't even let me.
Explain what reasonable and rational is without using a third person. You say I'm reasonable and rational to believe that Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy are real. I'm a 54-year-old adult person, and I'm reasonable and rational to believe in the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. And you're going to explain to me what reasonable, rational means by bringing in a third person, your friend who believes in aliens? And that's logical? And that's logical in your head?
Yes, because they have experienced
they haven't.
And I have not.
Okay,
that's the thing. So if you
they have
the Tooth Fairy,
they have.
I cannot say you haven't.
They have claimed. They have zero evidence.
Correct.
Okay,
So they have reason to believe in it, not me.
But they don't have.
I have no reason to.
But they don't have evidence.
Claim that
they don't have evidence.
You're right. They don't. Well, I know that's irrelevant.
No, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
You're coming with claims that my eternal soul depends on your God, and yet you provide zero evidence.
That.
You're a theist, correct?
I told you.
You said you're a theist, correct?
I told you I'm a Satanist.
No.
I told you.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. The only two things I haven't told you that on this stream, but through our comments.
I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are, Drew Boss.
You think you do because you were calling me out before I joined the stream, so you do know who I am because you even put my comments up on the screen.
Okay, but
so do you know who I am or do you not?
It clicks now. It clicks now. Let me
I said I'm a philosopher. I'm a Satanist, and I believe in God.
Okay, but listen.
You're right. You don't know who I am. You don't know
exactly
my beliefs.
Because I didn't. I just saw you and clicked on you. You didn't say, "Hey, I'm the guy you've been communicating with." Right? That information would have been pertinent, wouldn't it? That would have been really nice if you had said, "Hey, I'm the guy we were communicating with," and you just called out.
You didn't ask. So it's not my responsibility to tell you things you didn't ask for.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't ask. You didn't. Oh, yeah. You're a philosopher. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You say I'm reasonable and rational to believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy as a 54-year-old adult.
And I've already explained why.
And you've already explained why.
Because I can't prove you wrong. I have no evidence that you are wrong.
Yeah, you do.
So,
you do. Yeah, you do. Since you do. Since every single child has a parent who's put the quarter or 10 cents or nickel or $1.50, whatever today's rates are, under the pillow. And every single child has a parent who has all the teeth that the quote unquote Tooth Fairy.
I don't believe in the Tooth Fairy.
Neither do I. And because we're not because it would be unrational and unreasonable.
But I cannot. I live by truth. As a Satanist, I live by truth.
And what does that mean?
I cannot claim that the Tooth Fairy does not exist because I have no backing that it doesn't exist.
Because I'm a 54-year-old person whose mother has a little box with all little Scotty's teeth in them. And that's evidence that my mother is the Tooth Fairy for Scotty Stell.
Right. I don't really.
Right. I know I'm right.
The Tooth Fairy. The Tooth Fairy is kind of a.
Yeah, because it's a little too easy for me to disapprove you.
No, because we're talking about the Tooth Fairy, and we're talking about Santa Claus. But if we were talking about God or Bigfoot or aliens, those are things that are a little bit bigger than the Tooth Fairy. The Tooth Fairy,
it's the same thing.
To you, it's not.
Zero evidence. If you want to play
no, because I have evidence that the Tooth Fairy doesn't exist.
So do I.
It was just an example. I was using your example to have this conversation.
Yeah.
But when it comes to God, I don't have evidence that God doesn't exist.
You have the same amount as I have for the Tooth Fairy. Zero.
No, I don't.
Okay, what is it? Please provide the gravity quality evidence to back up your claims.
Please provide the evidence God doesn't exist.
Yeah, okay. You're a philosopher. Yeah, right. That's how logic works. You're making a positive claim. I got positive claims. There's one right there on the screen. Positive claim. I have been, I am, and I will be wrong, mistaken, incorrect about something, anything. That's a positive claim. Do you agree?
Yes.
Correct. Thank you. See, how hard was that? Positive claim number 2. I only know if I was or if I am wrong, mistaken, or incorrect about something, anything, in the context of a now moment with now information and now knowledge. Do you agree?
Yes.
Correct. See how simple this is? Claim number 3. Genes in an environment in the context of a now moment determine what and how I remember. Do you agree?
No.
Why?
Because I remember before the womb.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. See, there you go.
Yeah, but where's your evidence? Where's your
I
evidence?
don't have evidence.
I know you
need
don't.
evidence for you either.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
You're
I
claiming.
don't care whether you believe or not because
that's fine.
I
Again,
know what I
but
believe.
you are
Exactly.
But you are irrational and
Like
unreasonable.
what? You seem to think
You
that other
remember-
people are suffering.
Remember, words have meanings, correct? Remembering something before the womb means something.
Yes.
And there cannot be memories. And obviously, you don't know
No.
dilly squat about a brain and how a human brain functions.
I do.
You do? So please explain. Elucidate for me.
Okay. Fuck that. But
Okay,
how about the soul or spirit?
Because you have utterly nothing to stand on. Because
I'm not going to argue with an ignorant dolt.
Because I'm ignorant. Your sophistry, okay, you
Mhm.
can't back it up. Okay,
You're right.
Words
I
have
can't,
meanings.
and I don't need to.
To remember something, there needs to be a physical brain.
No, there
So
doesn't.
you cannot remember anything before the womb.
You can't prove that.
I know I can't prove that. And guess what?
What?
You can't. Yeah, guess what? I boxed myself into a corner. I was rattling on, and I apologize. So I can't prove that. Yes, I can. Because again, my claim, right?
Well, you'd be wrong if you can.
I
prove
would
it.
be.
Yeah. Because
How
I remember before the womb. So
Okay,
you'd
what do
be
you
wrong.
remember?
Like, there's nothing you could say. I remember God.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, okay. So
you
anyway,
haven't even let me say what I remember.
We'll go to claim number 4. I'm
I
rational.
remember
I'm rational.
I'm trying to articulate it, but I
Yeah, but you
can't
can't
articulate
because
it, and you're not
you
even
cannot-
giving me a second to articulate it.
Yeah, because it's utter nonsense.
Okay, so instead of God, let me put it the way that I remember it, which is the word.
Okay, like I haven't read a Bible. Okay, and what do Christians? Oh, half the Christians that comment on my videos. Oh, you gotta come in contact with the Word. Okay, so
Okay,
now we're into alien, right? It's amazing how
No.
all aliens. Okay,
I'm trying to explain to you something that no one else in the world will talk to you about. It is so
wrong. All
crazy.
Christians want to talk about
no
the Word.
one. No, I'm talking about before the womb. I'm talking about something that I have never ever heard on the internet or anyone else ever talk about, and it's my own experience.
Wrong. You said the Word. Christians are always talking about the Word.
Before anything, there was nothing, and then all of a sudden, the Word came out of nowhere, and the Word was speaking to me.
Do you actually believe
this? Is what happened to me.
Do you actually believe this?
Womb. Yes.
Oh my God! It's utter nonsense. Here,
okay, but here's the thing. The Word started asking me things like, for example, the Word said, "Do you want to live?" And I said, "Yes."
Was it English? Was it English?
Yes, it was English.
Oh my God, it's amazing. All the ancient documents.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. All the ancient documents. Okay, they're in Greek and Hebrew.
Okay, but theology claims it. Like, if God is going to exist,
theology is a bunch of old guys.
Omnipotent, which means he has to know all language. So I don't even know what you're getting at right now. You're just not even making any points.
Nice bucket of claims. Here. Here's what everything turns for me on. Okay.
You say nice bucket of clams to a lot of people when they just say anything. You just don't even think about it, even though that's what you tell other people to do. So you don't even take your own advice. You say, think about it. But then when someone else gives you something, you don't think about it. You just say, nice claim.
Read the screen. What's your inner voice self story?
I don't know what that means.
The story you tell yourself about yourself. Whose voice tells that story and in what manner that story is told to you. That's what all the videos are. That's the point of all the videos I make. So what's the story you tell yourself about yourself to yourself? Whose voice tells that story and in what manner is that story told to you?
I'm very confused on the context.
Okay. So I will give you my inner voice self story and then you can mirror it. Here's my inner voice self story. I respect myself. I enjoy being me. I am complete. I'm at peace with myself, life, and universe. I like the guy I see in the mirror. I am the change I wish to see in the world. The voice is my strong, own, genuine, authentic voice. the manner in which the story is told, it's told by my best friend with compassion, caring, awareness, appreciation, generosity of spirit, curiosity. That's my inner voice self story.
I still don't understand it. Just sounds like a mantra. Just sounds like something you're telling yourself. Like,
no,
I don't get what you're saying.
A mantra would be now.
Sounds like something you were telling
Nurture,
yourself.
owner, nurture, open, wondrous. Okay. A mantra is something you repeat. Okay. This is the story I tell to myself about myself.
What it sounds like.
I don't go around and repeating that. Okay. But that's the story.
Like. But I don't get it. I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm asking you what your inner voice self story is. What's the story?
And I don't know what that means.
I just explained it to you, and then I told you what my inner voice self story is. You're still not tracking.
No, I don't understand.
Okay. Do you cry over spilled milk?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have regrets?
No.
Crying over spilled milk and regrets are kind of the same thing.
No. I spill my milk and then I cry because I don't have milk.
Do you know it's a saying. People, if you're crying over spilled milk, in other words, the milk is spilled and you're crying about an event that already happened. There's no putting the milk back in the bottle. Right? So it's a metaphor. It's not an aneurysm. That's a brain aneurysm. It's a metaphor. Okay. Regrets are, I didn't ask that girl out, right? Or I didn't buy that car, or I didn't invest in that stock, and now look at it. It's, it just went up 300%. That's a regret. That's crying over spilled milk. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Focusing on the past.
So I don't cry over spilled milk then.
Okay, cool.
I don't.
Okay, just getting on the same page. Okay, so you don't have regrets. You don't cry over spilled milk. Hat off to you, fellow human being. Is the voice negative? Are you negative? Do you like, oh, why did you do that, you idiot? Something like that. Are you negative towards yourself?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. So that's food for thought. Figure out. Direct a little awareness to that voice, and if all of a sudden you're driving along and you're like, man, I should have left earlier. God damn it. Why didn't I leave 5 minutes earlier? I'm always procrastinating, right? That would be a negative.
I think it's a no.
Okay.
But I think I've been hard on myself before.
Okay.
But not like the examples you were giving or like.
Okay, so explain what you mean by hard on yourself.
Like if I make a mistake, then I'll
beat yourself up.
Well, yeah, like I want to do better, and I'm upset that I made a mistake, and the next time I want to not make the mistake.
Okay, so I think. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thank you.
Is that what you were asking?
Yeah. No, I understand. You've communicated what you were you got the point across. I understand. Cool. Okay. So here's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that you were making dinner and you knocked the cup over and broke it, right? And you're like, what the hell? Oh, now I got to buy a new cup, right? So there's a little negativity there.
Well, I don't actually get mad at myself though. So no, like that's what I'm saying. I guess I just now figured it out. Like, yeah, I don't get mad at myself, but rather I get mad at my environment. So I'll get mad at the cup. I'll be like, why did the cup have to break? You know what I mean? That's how I feel. That's my response to my reality.
Wow. I appreciate that. That's interesting. Okay. So you're a victim. What I hear is victim, that the universe has put that if that cup had 2 ounces of brain cells, it wouldn't have been sitting there because I was going to put my hand there.
No.
That's what I heard.
Well, maybe. Well, in that exact, like, example
scenario,
yeah, it would have been not that where the cup was sitting or where I was standing and that I knocked it over. It would have been that the cup didn't have a lid and the content spilled out. That's what I'm upset about. Or the fact that the cup breaks, then I'm upset that the cup wasn't strong enough to withstand the problem.
But again, so what I'm hearing is that Drew Boss is a victim of circumstances. Right? That cup, it was flawed from the factory. That you didn't that they didn't give you the stronger cup. They gave you the right. That I just hear what I hear is that Drew Boss is the victim of circumstances.
I don't know. Right now, I don't feel like I can think for myself. It feels pretty difficult to even say whether that is a yes or a no, whether that's true or false, because it's like I can't. I don't know why, but I can't find like an actual example from my life that pertains to this question.
Okay, but
I don't know.
Okay, but that's food for thought, right? There's something you can chew on, and we can email back and forth, and maybe have another conversation. But for me, in my experience of life, the inner voice self story is the most important story in the universe, and I have examples.
Yes, I believe that.
Stephen Boss, Jason David Frank, and Alec Mooser. Do you know any of those three names? Jason David Frank was a Power Ranger. I think he was the Blue Power Ranger. If you watch those movies, okay. These three gentlemen, they all took their own lives. Okay, and they, from most people would say they had it all: fame, fortune, respect, love, adoration. They had families, children.
But there was clearly something wrong.
Correct. No, I don't know if it was wrong, but in their inner voice self story, there was one solution, and that was taking their own lives.
There was something wrong, and that's why that was the solution. There was a problem, and the only way they could fix it was taking their own lives.
Yes, but still.
Yeah.
But I'm not judging. See, I don't judge the situation, right? I'm not judging this situation. I'm not comparing it to a different situation. I'm in this conversation with Drew Boss, right? It was contentious, and now it's not as contentious, right? I'm not judging it and saying, "Oh man, I shouldn't have attacked Drew Boss there. I shouldn't have been so hard on him. I should have been X, Y, or Z." I'm not doing that. I'm not playing that mental game.
Yeah, I don't do that either. I don't regret the way that we've interacted previously.
Right? It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. And now we're learning about each other. We're bouncing things off each other. Right. But those three gentlemen, right, whatever was quote unquote wrong was more in their story about themselves. If they were beating themselves up.
There was something wrong. Yeah. Right? It might not have been them though. It could have been their environment. They could have been like it could have been them, or it could have been, who knows to say what it was, but it really could have been anything that made them feel that way. Whatever the problem is.
I agree. But again, if it was, I call it an inner voice self story because maybe it wasn't their voice in their head. Maybe it was their priest, their imam, their parent, the bully from school, right? All this.
Right. So.
Right. But if I allow that into my head, Drew Boss, right? You can see that's my choice to allow.
Yeah, you're saying that they had a misunderstanding, and that misunderstanding is what led them to that circumstance. Like
no.
Yeah, because
no. I don't think I'm saying that. I'm saying if they allowed their quote unquote environment, which was filled with bullies, or they grew up in a bad neighborhood and they had to do X, Y, or Z to survive, they let that, right? They didn't have this a strong enough self-respect. Right?
Yeah, like they interpreted it as, like, let's say true.
Yeah.
Instead of having the
the inner voice self story, right? Remember, my inner voice self story. I respect
to think. Yeah, like to think for yourself, to be like, no, what they're saying is not true. And
yeah, it's their opinion, but it's not written in stone. Yeah, exactly. Right. And so that's why all the videos I make, Drew Boss, in my opinion, right, they all are about this one question: what is your inner voice self story? Right. And think about that in a religious term, right? Why are you letting somebody else, a book, an imam?
I'm not, though.
Well, let me finish my statement, right?
Yeah.
Why are they letting that be, tell them that you're not allowed to masturbate, or you're not allowed to eat pork, or whatever, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's why I was curious, and I asked you what your inner voice self story is, but you don't quite know yet.
Yeah, so so this is why I have such a weird belief system, right? I'm like 50% Christian, and then I'm like 50% Satanism, which is, they're both like complete opposites. So, and then I'm 1%. I like to say I'm like, 49.5% Christian, 49.5% Satanism, 1% all other religions. I totally love all of them.
Okay.
even the Neo ones. Like,
yeah, I understand. Okay, but still, boil it. I would really love and be very curious to hear what you boil your inner voice self story down to. Right?
yeah. So
Because the reason why I include I am complete is because there are people that, I'm not complete without,
I'm not complete.
Why? Okay, boom, bingo. Why? Why would you do that to yourself, Drew Boss?
Because I used to be, but then I lost it because of the bad things that I've done throughout life. I've become less and less complete.
Yeah, see, that I don't understand that. I mean, that blows my mind. That's what I want to have a conversation about, Drew Boss, right there. That's what all those videos are for.
What's so important about that?
Because why would you? Okay, let's say you had a child. Let's say I had a child, right? And that little child comes up to me and says, "Daddy, I don't feel complete." Am I going to tell that child, no, you're right, you're not complete, you little piece of crap? Or am I going to say, no, honey, you are complete? Why do you say that about yourself?
Yeah, and then what if they gave you a valid reason to why they aren't complete?
Yeah, but then I listen. Then I actually listen to that child, and I hear it, and I ask that child, is that your voice or is that Jimmy's down the street? Right? That's why it's so important.
And what if it was theirs?
Good looking dog. Okay, then we have then I ask. Okay, then we work on it. That's all I'm saying. I'm curious,
and I think that's a good thing. I think that's what people should do.
Okay, and that's 100%. All. That's what every single video, in my opinion, boils down to. I'm asking.
Yeah. I think that like what you're doing is good, but the only thing that that I just can't agree with is this experience that I had and this ongoing experience I have with what other people claim to be the Holy Spirit and God and stuff. I can't say that it's God. I have no idea what any of it is. But
okay, I agree. I agree. Not gonna fight you there, Drew Boss.
but I've had my own okay, so when the Word spoke to me, right before the womb, if you can just bear with me for a second, when the Word spoke to me, I could pretty much ask for anything I wanted. And one of the things I asked for was to remember that interaction while going into life. So I still remember the whole interaction from the day I was born. I didn't remember the day I was born because I didn't start gaining consciousness till like around 4 years old. But as soon as I reached 4 years old, I started remembering that, like the whole thing. I just remembered it like it was yesterday. It didn't leave me. And yeah, so I remember before the womb, and I remember everything when it came to conceiving myself. One more thing. So like, yeah, when I was in conception, I remember the whole conception. I remember all of conception, right? Yeah. What do you got to say?
Okay. But again, words have meaning. That's not before the womb.
To my understanding, that's the best way I can explain it. It wasn't in the womb. It wasn't in the womb. I don't believe it was in the womb. It was something out of this world is the best way to describe it. Go ahead.
Okay, but words have meanings. Words have meanings. And before you said before the womb, you're now talking after the womb. You're talking about you're talking about development in the womb. Sorry.
No, because my words have meaning. I'm talking about before the womb.
No, but you just contradicted yourself, and it's on video. I want you to come back and watch this.
I'm not contradicting myself.
I want you to go back and watch it and realize how you contradict yourself.
Because you think that it's not possible
to
remember before the womb.
No.
You think without a brain, someone can't have memories.
Yes, that's right. I do believe
science.
And that's observable science.
Yes. And I agree with that stuff. And that's why I can't make heads or tails with my experience.
But
a scientist would. A scientist would say
I think we can.
In the womb.
There was just an article on schizophrenia to where they found I'm going to call it a module in the brain, right? A processing center that was malfunctioning. And it wasn't stop. I only glanced at it. We didn't go back and read it, but it wasn't stopping the inner monologue, right? From being so the inner monologue became processed as an external monologue, and so all of a sudden that is the voice they are hearing. They're hearing their own voice because that module failed. right? And that could be the same for you, for your experience. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying you're schizophrenic. I'm saying the modules in the brain, if they fail, and a module could just like a switch can get stuck, right, in the open position. And you might have, and I'm not saying that's what it is, okay? But I appreciate you sharing your experience now, right? But again, words have meanings. And often you were saying in the womb, right? I don't remember conception.
Before the womb.
I know. I don't want to get hung up on those small points. But still, when you do the research on a human brain, right?
Yes, I've done it because I've been interested in this because of
okay, cool.
my experience.
Here. So claim number 3 is where we got stuck, right? Because my understanding, just like a prefrontal cortex, right? From 0 to 12, the prefrontal cortex is not online, right? The prefrontal cortex structurally is DNA, right? But the drapes, the curtains, the size of the bathroom, the size of the windows, that all gets decided by the 12-year-old when it goes online. So the evolution has designed the prefrontal cortex to be totally experientially driven, right? Now, and so when I have done my research, as much research as I've done, and with my understanding, right, there are no memories without brains. Because if all of a sudden, right now, Scott Stell has a stroke, right? He has an aneurysm, right? Guess what? Scott Stell is no longer the person you've spoken to. It is a new Scott Stell. Every moment, it's a new Scott Stell. I am changed by this interaction with you. I have learned that I get too excited. I'm a prick, right? All your opinions, I have to take as evidence of those things because you are giving me your self-reporting. So you have changed my brain. That's why claim number 3 says genes in an environment, right? So I'm worked up. I got adrenaline. I got some epinephrine, right? And if I remember my understanding of memories, right, it's affected by the chemicals, the chemical composition in this ecosystem right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of still not understood things. That was another thing I mentioned earlier.
I agree. So
these not understood things, the things that we don't know. For example, there probably is something right now in your life that is omnipresent, just like let's say 2,000 years ago, before someone discovered gravity, before they really started delving into just scientific truth.
Exploration.
Yeah. And it was still omnipresent. They just didn't know.
Exactly. Yeah. But I don't think you and I are gonna let's say Scott Stell has a brain aneurysm. Okay. There is no answer in a Bible or a Quran or a Veda or Tao Te Ching or any other ancient book. Okay. The solution is always now in the context of this now moment, our understanding, our information. All right. So I agree with you said, but gravity is an omnipresent, an actual, real, objective, omnipresent force that everything has a personal relationship. Things that theists claim their God is, but we have an actual standard now because of gravity and the weak and strong.
Well, gravity is not even complete, though. That's another thing about gravity, though.
No, gravity is complete. Our understanding of gravity is not okay.
Which means it might not even be what we think it is. It could be completely different.
Yeah, but guess what? I dropped a screwdriver. I'm going to bet money it's going to go down towards the center of the earth at 9.81 meters per second.
Yes, people have already discovered all that stuff.
So, do you agree that we now have a standard for all Omniforce claims?
Probably not all of them, but
Yeah, but okay, but for omnipresent, we have a standard, right? So when theists claim that their God is omnipresent, we have a standard, and their gods do not meet that standard.
They do to me, because I believe that it is, like I said earlier, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what words to use. I don't think anyone does, or else we would explain it, right? Just like gravity, before gravity had all these definitions and explanations.
But in the context of this now moment, we can explain gravity.
But we can't explain the
origins of it.
No, I'm trying to talk about the voice someone gets in their head, and maybe you don't get this, but I do. So the voice I get in my head that is not my voice, and I know that sounds crazy,
No,
but
it doesn't sound crazy. It sounds it sounds 100% human.
I guess, yeah.
100% human, because you want to know why? I've had conversations with other fellow human beings that say the same thing that you say. That's why I talk about the human condition being the common components, and voices in our heads are a common component of the human condition. Some of them, though, seem like they come from the outside, and they're called what we, with our understanding in the context of this now moment, are called schizophrenics. And there is a hypothesis out there that there is a module in the brain that is malfunctioning for whatever reason, genetic, chemical, right? And so that module is not saying, hey, Scott, this is your voice. And instead it's, wow, what did you hear that, Drew Boss? Did you, right? And it's as simple as a module in our brain.
So
I got to walk my dog. I appreciate you showing up.
I got a question.
Okay, cool.
That it doesn't really matter. It's a very, I wouldn't say, it's not off topic. I don't know how to describe the question, but anyways, it's, do you think, or it might, you might not like the question because it has to do with.
Just ask a goddamn question.
Scripture. I don't want you to dismiss it. Do you think, like, let's say Moses, when he heard the burning bush talking to him, do you think he was schizophrenic before schizophrenic existed? Do you think that's what that was? Do you think that, like, people of the past, especially, like, let's say in this example, Moses, he gets words spoken to him from outside of his head? What do you think of that?
Conclusion. I am rational and reasonable to conclude Moses, Paul, Muhammad were mistaken when their ancient books claimed Moses spoke with the Jewish God. Paul is claimed to have seen a resurrected Jesus, and Muhammad saw and spoke with an angel.
So what was your claim on them? That they were just wrong?
That's my conclusion. Yeah, that they're just wrong.
That they were mistaken?
Yeah, mistaken. Like, yeah. In other words, listen, a burning bush. Think about that. How many people have listen, I'm as
There's
clean.
Lots of reasonable explanations.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I'm as clean as white snow. I've never done drugs. I've gotten contact high at a concert, right? To where I've gotten a headache and fell asleep and missed half the concert. Okay. But I know I've had conversations with friends that have gotten high and the bushes have talked to them. So what's more reasonable? That God came down, or that they found a little wacky weed?
Have you ever heard a voice?
No. Yeah, my own. Never heard a voice. No, just my own.
How about any unexplainable event, like paranormal, like anything that's just
nothing.
Everything's always, me too. I've never had anything unexplainable happen.
And we are reasonable and rational. And I'm not saying my fellow human beings are crazy. I'm saying my fellow human beings are experiencing the human condition in their individual manner. Okay? Brain structure and chemical composition. Because listen, if you pump me full of adrenaline right now, I'm going to remember differently. I'm going to act differently. I'm going to be a different person. Right? If all of a sudden you shoot me full of heroin, I'm going to be a different person.
Chemicals definitely.
It's the chemical composition and the brain structure. If I have a stroke and a part of my brain dies, I am now a different person. That previous Scottsdale will never be seen again. We have too many observable experiences like this. We know too much.
So your goal is to end this mental suffering, infliction.
Self-inflicted, mental suffering.
Yeah. But how do you plan on going about that with this method? How is what you're doing now going to even? How does it relate to that? When
are we having
let's say you're right. Let's say you're right, and the way that you're describing things, it's just different perceptions of the human experience.
Drew Boss,
how is that going to end the mental inflicted suffering? You know what I'm saying? Drew Boss,
are we having this conversation? Then we're having this conversation. So my method is working. It has succeeded. I am smarter, better, stronger, more intelligent for having this conversation, Drew Boss. I have succeeded. Point period.
Well, sadly, you haven't, because I still 100% believe in God.
Wrong. Drew Boss, wrong. my Scott Stell's inner voice self story. I am a better person now. I now have interacted with you. I am a better person, Drew Boss. My goal is I've succeeded. That's
okay, so it's for yourself, like
it's for yes. I'm Drew Boss. I got to walk my dog. I am the most selfish person you will ever meet. Here's how.
Okay.
I want to be as safe and comfortable as possible. In order for me to be as safe and comfortable as possible, I need all those people I interact with to be as safe and comfortable as possible. So my selfishness is to make sure that when I meet Drew Boss, he is safe and comfortable. Do you understand that thinking? That train of thought?
No.
Okay, not the thing. Do you don't understand that train of thought?
No.
Okay, think about it.
What?
That's all. Think about it. Realize how selfish I. By me, if I meet you and like meet you, you're nice as pie, right?
Like you're respecting yourself.
Exactly. Right? I'm respecting myself and I'm showing my self-respect to you right now. Right?
Yeah.
And if we meet, I can be totally chill and be like, man, we've had some good conversations, and I can find deeper and deeper levels of safety and comfort. My goal is I'm a mad scientist, dude. This conversation proves it. I'm joking a little bit, but that's right. These conversations, having this conversation, right? If let's say you and I, we really hit it off. We email back and forth and we start doing streams. Okay. Nobody's showing up in my streams, but maybe if you and I are hashing out, we get some people that show up and they start joining in. Right. And then we spread the inner voice self story. And then all of a sudden, instead of Stephen Boss, Jason David Frank, and Alec Mooser committing suicide, people start asking their loved ones, their siblings, their children, what's your inner voice self story? And they stop telling their children, you are X, Y, and Z. You're a Christian, you're a Jew, you're a Muslim. You start asking them, hey, what do you feel? What do you think when you read this book? They practice curiosity instead of indoctrination. But listen, I'm a white guy, right? Can I speak with a person of color? Are they gonna? They don't identify with me, right? Because I'm not in their quote unquote tribe, right? So it's you, the white guy, right? And so if you and I, white guys, can speak to other white guys and stop the unnecessary mental suffering, right? That helps the community.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, this guy's freaking nuts.
Well, I'm trying to think how a believer would take this and be okay with it. A believer is not going so I can see how you're helping yourself, and I can see how I'm trying to figure out how this is going to you're saying that it's going to help the community, and it might help the community, but I don't think the community will see it as help or take it.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
If you've gone through my videos, what am I constantly saying? All the videos have fellow human being in it. You made you differentiated. You said a believer. I don't see a believer. I see a fellow human being. And then I asked them what they self-report, just like I did with you. You self-reported.
So what do they self-report? They're self-reporting that God exists.
In that moment that they believe X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
And so we could hash it out there, or I can say, what's your inner voice self story, or why is that kid over there starving, right? And say, listen, let's talk about the stuff that's actually important, the human condition. Let's get. That's why I have those claims. Those claims are things we agree on, to build a foundation of things we agree on, which makes it easier to talk about the things we disagree on, because you realize now that I'm not I'm not as big a dickhead as you thought I was.
No, I never really thought you were.
Understand? I'm going to the extreme. Absurdity.
You do claim things though that that I don't have evidence to claim, and I don't believe that anyone else has evidence to claim. Like, I can't say Bigfoot doesn't exist. Now you might be able to, but I just can't. I can't have evidence.
But listen, I was doing some work, and the guy's telling me, he's listening to this podcast, and he's enacting. He's saying the helicopter's flying over these woods, and the Bigfoot, and he's making that like they're running, right? And I'm sitting there saying, do you really believe this? Because if there was guys, and it was 2 years ago, there was this thing called cell phone. You don't think one of those pilots would have popped out that cell phone and been like, holy cow, I'm going to be freaking famous.
Yeah, be cool.
But the pilot
wanna
didn't do
get
that. But the pilot didn't do that. You want to know why? Because it didn't happen.
Right. Yeah. That would, I mean, yeah, that it makes, yeah, I don't believe in Bigfoot because I also have no evidence to believe in Bigfoot. Like I've never seen him for myself. So for me, it's like, no, I don't. And the whole idea of God is, what is someone supposed to do then if they do hear voices? So you're telling me my solution is to think that those voices are my voices.
No,
that's my thoughts.
No. My suggestion to you would be practice a little self-awareness. Realize when is it happening, right? Maybe you know. So for the next month, you're really attuned. You're practicing self-awareness, and you're like, you know something? It's every time after I've eaten pineapple.
Okay.
Right. And that's all you need to do, right? And so you realize, wow, if I don't want to hear the voice, I don't eat pineapple. If I want to hear the voice, I eat pineapple. That's all I'm suggesting, Drew Boss. I'm not saying that you need to adopt Scott Stell's understanding of the world, that you're not hearing voices. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is practice self-awareness, self-appreciation, right? And say, you know something? I can facilitate this voice. I can have a little bit of, I don't like the word control, but I can have a little control over this voice. And maybe all it is an allergic reaction to pineapple. That's all I'm saying.
I've never observed what it is. I am completely unaware.
Yeah. Okay. So all I'm suggesting is you just practice a little self-awareness, and you can come up with a cure for cancer by figuring out this voice and being, you know something, I really enjoy listening to this voice. And after I listen to it and interact with this voice, I do X, Y, and Z better. I'm not saying that you have to. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
right. You're not saying the voice is bad.
No, I'm just saying be aware of it and use it.
Yeah.
And use it to your advantage and everyone's advantage around you.
Yes, I agree with that. That is what.
But reading the Bible and hearing a voice and telling gay people that they're going to hell to being gay, that's not helping anybody.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. So see, that's where my because I'm Satanist, so I'm a little bit different than other people.
No, you're not. You're a fellow human being, and you have your beliefs and everything like your fellow human beings, right? But you're not going around saying, "I know you're going." You're not making those type of things. That's all. They can do it all they want. We can have a conversation about God. We can have a cool conversation about God. But unfortunately, I'm going to assume that you live in the United States and there's a lot of people getting hurt and a lot of scared people because laws are being written from a Bible that they can't back up.
Oh, there's a lot of corrupt people in the world.
No. There's a lot of fellow human beings that believe a little too much what they don't have evidence for. Again, realize all my videos, majority of them, I talk about fellow human beings. Every single conversation. I haven't spoken to my family in 9 years. Okay? Guess what? They're fellow human beings. One happens to be my mother. One happens to be my father. They're fellow human beings, right? They have their own inner voice self stories. They have their own demons. I'm curious. I'm just not going to put myself in harm's way to hear their story. There needs to be a third person, a Drew Boss, a mediator, keeping us on track. Okay, so I don't see a fellow human being and say they're a believer or they're X, Y, or Z. I see a fellow human being, and then I'm curious, and I ask them, "What are you self-reporting? What do you believe?" And then because guess what? If I have let's say you and I agree to have a conversation next Sunday. You know what I'm not going to do, Drew Boss? I'm not going to assume I'm having a conversation with this Drew Boss I'm talking to right now.
Because people change.
Exactly. A week has gone by. That lovely dog might have gotten run over and you're really depressed. Do you think I'm going to beat you up about that voice you hear? I'm not that big of a douchebag.
Okay, so okay.
Right? I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to be curious. And I'm going to say, yep, this is the same guy, right? All the patterns is pattern recognition, right? The thing up here called a brain. I recognize this pattern. It's Drew Boss. He's feeling good. I can push him a little more. I can egg him on a little here, and you can be like, Scott's in a bad mood today. I better not point out that man. He looks like a freaking idiot with that haircut.
Yeah, but some people. So when I said people are corrupt, some people want to just see other people suffer.
Yes.
They don't like other people.
Yes. But I'm curious why, right? And I'm going to ask them.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask them questions, right? But I'm not going to put myself in harm's way. But I'm
Yeah.
curious. I don't want to pigeonhole people.
I don't know what that means.
Pigeonhole to say all tall people are stupid, all short people are highly intelligent, right? That's pigeonholing. That's putting them in a box, painting with a broad brush.
Okay,
right?
so kind of like stereotypes.
Yes, yeah. Thank you. Better word. Okay, I gotta walk that dog. I appreciate you showing up. I enjoyed myself, sir. I really did. Like I said,
Me as well.
Okay, excellent. Then my master plan has come together.
Good.
Okay, cool. Now our Discord is gonna be a little different. I understand you now, right? But you can see where I've explained myself as well as I think I can.
Yes.
Awesome.
I think. Yeah. I don't fully understand it all, but I understand more.
Yeah, cool. But like I said, all those videos, just go through the Project Non-Suffering, skip the religion stuff. But the Project Non-Suffering, go back to the first, start from the lowest, right? The Project Non-Suffering, which is very, very Eastern philosophy, Tai Chi affected, whatever the word is. Yeah, go back and just throw them and shoot me some text. Throw me some other stuff. Let me educate me. It's a conversation.
Yeah. I can't think of anything.
Cool. No. Yeah, it'll come to you.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
It will.
I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you. Nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you. And I'll see you later.
By the way, I'm Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what are you? Mountain?
Yeah.
You're Mountain Time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, but maybe we can arrange it for another conversation on a Sunday or something.
It is Sunday.
Yeah, next Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Have an amazing day.
I will. There's no reason not to. Bye.
Goodbye.